Hit the button.
And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Bengal barn. I'm Santori. We got Bengal Dad. How we doing? How we doing?
We're doing great.
You're in the barn.
It's our first real show from the barn.
From the barn. I'm not.
From the barn. You're not in the barn. I'm in
No.
the barn. You're not in the barn.
Look
You're not
incredible.
invited right now.
No, I look incredibly pink too. Now that I'm.
You look pink like a pig?
Yeah.
Huh. We got Stranger in the house.
We got Stranger. We got Greg.
We got Savage.
Pork chop from midnight
Chopper.
last night.
Chopper,
Asked
chopper.
if this happened already. That's all right. But we got some new formatting that I've been kind of tweaking. It's not the best, but we're getting there.
You've been
Preliminary stages. Preliminary stages. But before we get into all the good stuff here, that's not how I want to do it. So we are. Why is it putting both? We're struggling. There we go.
You're
Midwest
struggling.
Best
I'm just sitting
Barbecue.
here.
We're going to start with our sponsors. Brought to you by Midwest Best Barbecue.
Best. Where's Greg
Yeah.
at? Greg
I don't
needs to
know.
say, Greg, just where you're at, wherever you're at, just yell best and I'll probably hear it.
Just yell best. We'll hear it. Hopefully the state of Ohio helps out the team like the team of North. We'll get to that in a minute. But Midwest Best Barbecue down in Loveland off Words Corner Road. They got barbecue. They got brisket. They got wings. They got ice cream. They got all kinds of good stuff. They're going to be catering for the Project Game Day Draft Party. We love them. They're great. They're awesome. It's amazing. This is still the wrong layout. We need to be over here. That looks better.
There you go. The food's pretty good too.
The food's pretty good too. All right. Our next people that have been helping us out. Script
guys.
Coffee. Look at that.
That's
Now
the
we're
batting
rocking
cage
and
people.
rolling. The batting cage.
How come
And they
we
have
don't
ice
show the batting
cream.
cage?
I don't have a picture of the batting cage.
We need pictures of the batting cage,
We'll
folks.
get pictures of the batting cage. I'll get a hold of Steve. Go up to Lebanon, get some coffee. By the way, if you Google their name now, it's Midwest Coffee and Creamery. Love that. I got 2 creameries on
Two
here.
creameries. We
got-
can't get enough creamery.
Back-to-back cream. And then Midwest Best and Brimming Horn.
Those
I said
guys.
Midwest Best again. We're all over the place. I'm tired. Brimming Horn Meadery. Out of Delaware. They're Bengal fans. Is it wine? Is it beer? I don't know. It's like buzzed up honey. It's pretty good stuff.
It's something people would drink at a tailgate. other than
Viking. Vikings drink it. I
Vikings.
think.
So in
They're-
Minnesota, they're a big deal.
They're missing the boat with Vikings fans. I hope that they're helping them out too, like they help us out. And then last but not least, a
We
new
have a last
sponsor. Yes, a new sponsor. It's down there on the ticker. Chop Shop 513. Look them up on Google. Get some T-shirts, including this number 5 T. Higgins shirt, made by Pork Chop himself, worn by T. Higgins' mother herself, Mama T. Going viral. Get you some. We love Chop Shop. We love Pork Chop.
Chop, chop, chop away.
Back to normal now.
Okay, back to normal.
I guess
It's the
we
end of
can,
the show, folks.
Yeah, I know. I was going to try and touch on this. I wanted to kind of do this lineup tonight, but Greg's already brought up a good point.
What, that he was taking a walk outside and yelled it already?
He's just screaming the word best in his neighborhood.
Oh.
Looks like an absolute sociopath, and that's fine. We're here for it. But he said hopefully the Bengals can get some help like the team up north did. For those of you who missed the news a little earlier today, flew a little under the weather, under the radar.
Radar,
Jesus.
not the weather.
I can't talk
The weather
today.
radar.
I can't talk today. Flew under the radar. We'll slow down now. The Bengals in Hamilton County have asked the state of Ohio for $350 million to work on stadium renovations. I don't necessarily mind that at all. They just gave the Cleveland Browns $600 million for a brand new stadium. So why can't they give us half that amount to make sure ours looks good?
Well, if the state of Ohio has their funds in the stock market, they probably don't have them anymore.
Well, it came back and then fell again.
And then it fell again.
It'll come back.
It'll come back again.
It
And
always
then it'll
comes
fall
back.
again. And then it'll come back again, and it'll fall again.
It sounds like the Bengals already. They just they get close and they fall
win
apart.
one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. They're treading water, and hopefully they get a little better.
And boom. I hope that they can figure something out. And I'm sure they will. I think a lot of it's posturing right now. The Bengals don't want to leave. Hamilton County doesn't want to lose the money machine that is the NFL. One of 32 counties in the world that have an NFL team. No, less than that. One of 30 in the counties that have an NFL team.
So one thing I want to know is when they showed these renderings again to the stadium, are these renderings wishes of the Bengals, wishes of Hamilton County, both? Who was the rendering company listening to when they're creating this?
A lot of times it's just the developer that has decided this is what I would like to see. And everybody goes, ooh, piece of candy. So that's my assumption. It's a bad assumption, but it's probably a strong one too. We'll trickle down the Bengals here because I know that this is your least favorite thing on the absolute planet.
Golly, 2 weeks to go, and I'll be glad when it's over.
First topic here, draft preview. Tell me what you got.
I got nothing. I just looked at everybody on Twitter, and eventually somebody's going to get something right, but everybody has this is my 17th mock. Okay, that means you've selected 100 different players? I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Not for you, huh?
It bores me to no end. And then you got to sit around and wait for 3 hours for them to take their first pick. It's so boring.
Unless they trade back this year.
Ugh. Heaven help us, well, then we'll wait 5 hours. And then whoever they take, half the people are going to think it's great. Half the people are going to think it sucks. It's going to be like politics.
I was going to say, it's kind of like with the president.
It's the same thing.
So we've kind of gotten through all the waves of the offseason so far. You got the draft. Then you get what I consider the garbage heap of free agency. Your team's probably about 80% set at this point. The draft is about 15% left, and then you got some chunks here and there.
I think we miss on that 15% and those chunks here and there.
We do.
I think that's where we struggle is that last 20%.
Yeah, there's some issues there. So this is the way I feel when I approach the draft. The first 3 rounds are the ones that you can try and hedge your bets on. Everything else after that's kind of a crapshoot. And really, the first 3 rounds are still a crapshoot. First 3 picks, what positions do you want?
I don't know. I'm still scratching my head over Jerome Simpson. I'm stuck on that. I've been stuck for 20 years on Jerome Simpson. However long it's been.
15 years.
Just second round pick out of whatever, Coastal Carolina.
Okay, fine. Fun story time.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the living room on Baywood Cove, right? I remember exactly where I was on the couch on the left side of the room, watching the draft. I'm getting excited. And you go, this is where they take some WTF who pick. And I think for 90% of people who were casually watching the draft, when they said Jerome Simpson, Coastal Carolina, you said who? And I said, where the hell is Coastal Carolina? And you said Carolina. And I went, all right, this is where we are. This is where we are. Greg wants Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia. You thought he was a better tackler than Ivan Wari when you watched him with me the other day.
Sure.
Okay, sure. That's what you said. You said he tackles better than the big guy. That was expert analysis.
One guy you showed me, I told you he reminded me of Fulcher.
That was Iman Wari.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a fair analysis. He's a big, strong. He's like an oversized safety. He's like a big linebacker. At safety.
He almost ran like Fulcher. His arms were in the same position as Fulcher when Fulcher.
We'll have to get David on here and ask about.
Yeah, we can have arm analysis.
Yeah.
Running analysis.
Okay, so you can pick 3 positions. I don't need player names, but you get 3. You got 3 picks to make this team as good as you can for the first 3 rounds because you don't have many picks. So where are you going?
Offensive guard.
Okay.
Interior defensive lineman.
Okay.
and a edge rusher.
I think a lot of people probably share that sentiment.
I want pressure on the quarterback, protect my quarterback, and I'll take my chances.
Do you care what rounds? Like, do you have an
No, I
area
just
you
want all three to be Hall of Famers.
Don't
I
we
don't care
all?
what I don't care what round you come from. Just be a Hall of Famer.
Okay,
Step up.
So if they get out of the first 3 rounds and at least I would say we need at least 2 of those guys picked because there very well could be a safety in the first round. That's a realistic possibility, and I'm okay with that. If they get out of round 3 and they haven't picked at least 2 of those 3 positions, how are you feeling?
Not as bad as everybody else because it's the draft and I don't really care that much. How many Hall of Famers have we ever drafted?
Well, I mean, here's the deal. If
2.
they don't,
We've
if
drafted 2 Hall of Famers.
If they here, we'll just kind of go by those position groups, okay? If they get out of the 3rd round and your guard room hasn't changed and it's still Volson, Lucas Patrick, Cody Ford, and Jackson Kirkland, because right now that's the guard room. If they get out of the, your premium picks and that's the guard room, how do you feel about that room?
I feel like Burrow's in deep trouble.
Okay.
That's how I feel about. That's how I feel in general. I don't really feel about the room one way or the other.
If they get a starting guard, make an assumption that he's at least an average NFL starting guard, are you feeling a lot better?
I feel like we have a chance to put up offensive numbers, maybe 80, 85% of what we did last year.
Okay.
We're not going to do what we did last year. That was over the top. Just like the defense isn't going to be as bad either. That was way over the top.
A lot of the reason they scored so many points is they were in shootouts. They're probably not going to be in a position where they have to score. Hopefully, not in a position where they have to score.
I'd like to still score all those points and just win games by 20 points.
Well, sure, I would too.
I think Bill Belichick kind of liked that program.
Yeah. All right, so then we'll go down to pass rusher. If they get out of those first 3 rounds and your pass rushers are Osai, Murphy, and Hendrickson, I'm still okay with that room.
I'm disappointed. I mean, anybody that watched the Super Bowl saw how important it was to have a prolific pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a prolific pass rush, you're going to win almost every game. Even Burrow will falter over time with a prolific pass rush.
Sure. And then that last one, interior D-line. You've got the kid from Green Bay that
he might be enough. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy. I just don't want people running roughshod over us.
Well, he's supposed to help fix the run defense. You've still got B.J. Hill, which I'm surprised that was part of the plan to bring back B.J. Hill. So you've got Hill. You've got this, I think his name's Slayton, however we want to pronounce it, Slayton. You've got Jenkins, and you might have something out of McKinley Jackson because I wasn't a fan of him. But that room doesn't look as bad as it could have been. It's still not great. I would consider that a C. I would consider the pass rush a C. I would consider the guards like a D or an F. I know everybody wants defense right now, but I don't think Joe Burrow's got a chance in hell right now with those guards. I really, really, really am concerned about the guard room. And
I think they're going to
that
pick somebody up off the casualty list on June 3rd or whatever it is.
Sure, and that's why I say you still got like another 5% after the draft.
Yeah,
there's going to be waiver wires.
I'd much rather have an established NFL player, even if he's a C player. I'd much rather have that than a flyer on a kid.
Right. I mean, you're still going to get guys that get cut just from the 53-man cutdowns. You're going to have waiver wires. You're going to have the opportunities for trades. You're going to have undrafted free agents that might turn out to be okay. You're going to have the remaining free agents that are still out there. There's still guys like Scherf, I believe Will Hernandez, Dalton Risner. All those guys are still out there. And we knew those guys would be out there because those are the guys where it's kind of like I could probably get better in the draft and I won't have to pay what I might have to pay for those guys. So let's do the draft first, and if all else fails, we'll snag those guys. So my guess is you'll still get one of those guys. If you leave the draft with a guard from a premium pick and one of those guys, I feel great. But then you've got 6 people in that room, and I don't know if they're going to go with that approach or not. So we'll see. But that's really all I want to talk about with that. I do think they're going to take a running back around the 4th or 5th round. They could use another one. They don't have one right now beyond Chase Brown. They need some depth. They could really use another receiver. It wouldn't surprise me if they go with a receiver and a running back on day 3 just to see if they can get some talent in that room.
Starting to see Yoshi jumping around on Twitter saying he wants to be great.
Everybody is excited for all the articles saying that, he's gained 15 pounds. Every NFL player, if they are taking care of themselves in the offseason, puts on 10 to 20 pounds. Because guess what? They're going to lose it during the season.
Not every player.
A lot of them come in.
I am a kicker bully. Okay. Right, stranger?
Sure.
I hope McPherson hasn't picked up 20 pounds.
Bengal dad wants a UDFA Hall of Famer.
Perfect.
It happens. It does happen.
I want a perfect. I'll take somebody like that.
Clip this moment. If it happens, we will give Stranger his flowers 20 years from now when the guy gets inducted into the Hall of Fame if we're all still alive.
Well, yeah, you might be giving him his flowers. You'll be putting flowers on me.
Well, you'll be about 80, right? You got a chance.
I got a chance.
You got a chance. All right. So we'll keep trucking here. Next on the list, Ellie De La Cruz. I know you got some thoughts here that are going to rub people the wrong way, but let's go with some expert analysis.
There's no expert analysis. This is just how I feel. This guy gets all the hype. He will make a great play, and then he'll make a blunder. And before anybody says it, I know he's 22 years old, but there's a lot of really, really young players anymore that are really, really good. So it's not an anomaly that he's 22 years old. The guy can't get a big hit to save his life. He really can't. He's never had a game-winning hit. He's now played like 162, 165 games, whatever. Every time he comes up in a clutch situation, you know it's a taken strike 3, swinging through it, or a chopper to second. That's it. That's what he does every single time. I wish he'd stick his head in front of the ball or something. He's got, and speaking of him getting on base, he doesn't steal bases anymore. He stopped stealing bases going into September last year. I don't know if somebody said, "Hey, you're too valuable. You're going to burn your career up if you're stealing bases." Well, if Ellie De La Cruz doesn't steal bases, that's like Jamar Chase not going deep anymore.
Yeah, so
that's a huge element of his game.
For reference, if you take Ellie's stolen bases out of it, over the course of his 162, 25 home runs, about 80 RBIs, about a 260 hitter.
Yeah, that's not a generational talent.
As you said, that is.
What did I say the other day? I can't remember the guy I'm comparing to, but it was very normal. It's Brandon Phillips without the power.
Spencer Steer was who you said.
Yeah, it's Spencer Steer. I don't see him lining up at the gates of Great American Ballpark to watch Spencer Steer play baseball. I think he's a solid player. But Ellie is like the face of baseball and all this stuff. It's because of his speed. It's not his power. I don't know. Out of his home runs he hit last year, I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe he was in the top 40 in home runs. Maybe. Did he even leave the Reds in home runs?
I think so. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'll be honest.
I don't know. I expect more out of a player that is ballyhooed as much as he is. To me, he's a disappointment. CES is a disappointment. I really thought he was going to be the best hitter of all of them, but he's a disappointment. If Matt McClain could ever stay healthy, we might see if he's a good baseball player or not. It's just the whole team's disappointing to me. They're starting pitching, wonderful for now, wonderful.
For now.
Get me to May, get me to June. Golly, get me into a game that means something.
On fire tonight. Night just looks sad.
But we got a switch hitting bobblehead coming up in 2 days. Do I get the left Ellie striking out or the right Ellie striking out? Which one do I get? And I'll stand by this. Ellie De La Cruz does not start on the 75 Reds. Davey Concepcion beats him out. The glove is every bit as good, and Davey was a more reliable hitter. Hell, I think Davey drove in like 60, 65 runs, hitting in the 7th hole as a slap-hitting shortstop. Teams that suck, their fans rally around individual players. And that's what we do with the Reds. The Bengals have their core. Everybody likes T and Joe and Jamar, but they rally around that team. They're infused with the team. It's not that way with the Reds.
Here's my question to maybe try and prove your point. If Ellie would leave the team, how much would people still tune in to watch of the younger crowd?
Not nearly as much.
The people that are established Reds fans, people that have been watching 20, 30 years.
Oh, they wouldn't leave. They'd watch.
No, they'd still watch because they care about the Reds.
Well, and they'd like to have a shortstop they can count on. I wasn't a big Barry Larkin fan, but he's a lot better. He was a lot more reliable, better ball player than Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie, I just don't think Ellie's going to be consistent. He falls asleep periodically.
Now, I'll give you a chance to earn some love back because I'm sure you'll get a little pushback from this. If he was consistent on the good end, where would you place him? If the highs were consistent like they should be, where would you place him?
He would be at the top end of players that the Reds have had over the last 40 or 50 years.
Okay. So I want people to understand that it's not a talent. I think you would agree, and we've had this conversation. He's probably the most talented player in the last 40 or 50 years the Reds have had, period. Any position. Maybe Eric Davis is up there with him. But that's about it in terms of talent. But the consistency has got to be sorted out. Maybe that comes with age. Maybe
I don't like watching him play right now. He doesn't run out ground balls anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's already stopped doing that. You remember when Joey Votto in his second year stopped running out ground balls and somebody pulled him to the side, and after that he ran out ground balls the rest of his career as hard as he could. He couldn't run with half the speed of Ellie, but Ellie's already not running out ground balls. And I thought Terry Francona was supposed to be a guy that was a micromanager on those kind of things, those little things that make a difference between winning a game and losing a game. I don't see that out of Francona at all. The most I ever see out of him is taking his hat off and scratching his bald head and putting his hat back on. I don't see anything. We were just the same with David Bell. This looks like the same team.
Mm-hmm. It does. The pitching's better. The pitching's
better, but there's still every single game, not every game, but the majority of these games, they're going in the third and fourth inning, and they haven't scratched a solid hit. They're frustrating altogether as a team, and the supposed leader of this team being Ellie. Boy, if he's the leader of the team, that might be the reason why the team's that way. Because he's not a leader. He's a showboat. He's not a leader. They need to find somebody else to lead that team. Okay, I'm done.
Moving on to your other favorite subject again, the draft.
Oh, God, why are we going back to the draft?
Project Game Day.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Not really the draft, more Project Game Day.
Okay, that's better. That's much better.
We are selling tickets for 8 more days. So if you plan on going, and the reason being is that we have to get our orders for catering in a week ahead of time. So it's not like we're cutting it off. It's not like we're telling you can't show up. But we have to get things into Gold Star Midwest Best about a week ahead of time. So we have to have as close to a head count as we possibly can.
I thought we were bringing things in from another country. Of course, then we'd have had to pay twice as much. I mean, if you said it takes a week to get food, I mean, where's that at?
We're getting the number ready for catering. Stop. But you've
I thought
got
maybe we
eight-
were getting it from Frisch's.
No. We are Midwest Best and Gold Star have committed to catering. You're getting conies, and I'm not sure exactly what the meal is for Midwest Best. I mean, it's obviously going to be some kind of barbecue. But you got 8 days to get your tickets. I'm not going to say we're running out because we're not, but it is. We do have an idea of where we would like to have it capped, just because of
Gotta
space.
warm that arm up.
Yep. So it is Foaling Warehouse, second night of the draft, April 25th. Starts around 6, 7 o'clock. Food will be ready to rock and roll. $30 ticket that gets you your food. You get a plate of Midwest. You get a plate of Gold Star, and it gets you your games. And there's going to be some pretty darn good raffle items there. I will say that. I've got the list. I'm not sharing it yet, but there are some good raffle items. So come
Why aren't
in.
you sharing it?
Because
Why?
I want it to be a secret for about another week or so.
Let me guess. It's going to be a bunch of Bengal stuff.
Probably.
Okay, just thought I'd throw that out there.
There might be some bourbon in there. There might be
Oh,
some
boy.
other things.
Chocolate malt?
I'll just make you one. You got an ice cream shop behind you in your barn.
It's time to have a malt.
Why don't you show everybody that real quick? Because that's kind of impressive. Are you plugged in somewhere? Or can you walk around with that? What do you got?
I could unplug, but I am plugged in.
Okay. We'll give them a taste of it another day then.
Another day.
But you got 8 days. April 18th, I believe, is the cutoff. Get your tickets. $30 a piece. Proceeds go straight to Project Game Day.
Oh, you pointed to yourself. I thought they were going straight to yourself.
It was like this.
Proceeds.
I am part of Project Game Day. I am an owner. I am a founder. It is what it is.
What'd you pay for it? You're an owner. What'd you pay for it?
Yeah, I own it with 8 other giant fat men like me. We're just rolling around.
Can you own a nonprofit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a founder. We are owner. I don't know how that
Founder?
shit
I mean,
works.
you really own a nonprofit?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess in theory I could sell it to the other guys and they'd pay me nothing for it. But $30 a ticket. You got a week. 1 week.
1 week.
$30. Donate. Get in there. Buy shirts from Chop Shop. Buy a draft guide from Dale. Buy barbecue from Midwest. Buy coffee from Script. Buy mead from Birmingham. That's all I got.
My malts are free.
Your malts are free. You have a malt shop in
There
your
ain't no
barn.
buy. It's free.
You have a malt shop in your barn.
Kind of, if you want to call it that.
Well, look at it.
I'm looking at it. I see Erdays.
Yeah, Erdays.
I see Erdays.
You got a malt shop. You got skee ball, pinball, jukebox, shuffleboard, or not shuffleboard, the baseball thingy,
It's a baseball game.
baseball game, bumper pool, foosball, like half a car. You got the whole kit and caboodle in there. Look at
57 Chevy.
Look at that.
57 Chevy. I can't really get a good view of it, though.
Turn your computer a little more. 57 Chevy. Look at that
57
barn.
Chevy.
Look at that checkered board looking barn. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for joining. About a half-hour show tonight. That's probably what these are going to be during the off season.
Didn't you say you had to be in Iowa or something at 8:15?
I am going to be in Kentucky. I got to leave here in about 15 minutes.
Same thing.
Iowa, Kentucky. I'm having spaghetti at a friend's house.
You got to go to Kentucky to get spaghetti. There's a La Rosa's right down the street.
Well, listen, I can make spaghetti too, but it's our friend night where we.
Yeah, but you want it to be good.
Oh, you saying Jay can't cook?
I'm saying La Rosa's is good. I'm saying you can't make spaghetti.
What?
I've
I
never
will-
had it. You've never made it for me. 'cause
You've
you
never
won't-
had my spaghetti?
You're not proud of it.
Sir. I'd make spaghetti for the draft night, but I don't know how clean that's going to be in
Yeah,
the
that
barn.
would be a problem. That would be a problem.
I don't. What should I make for that? What do you want? Obviously something easy.
We're probably just gonna get pizza or something. We
Boo.
don't need to be making food. We got to be watching the draft. I'm going to be excited because it's almost over.
You're gonna pop a bottle of champagne at pick 32. We did it. I don't care about the next 2 days. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you again next Thursday because the barn's done and we are finally back on a regular schedule.
22 weeks to Who Day.
I think that's 3 straight shows we've done at the same time on the same day at the right moment.
We're back, baby.
We are freaking back.
How come only 9 people are on here watching? We have 30 and 40 other nights. You
Yeah.
must have told people we were actually going to be on.
I know.
That's what happened.
The last few nights
We
there
caught
was just
everybody else by
surprise.
surprise.
We will see you in a week, same bat time.